So if you're interested in home bartending and you're wondering what type of shaker you should buy for your home bar, then this is the correct video for you. My name is Ron Veerpen. I'm a full-time medical doctor and I've been a home bartender for over 5 years now. During that time, I've learned to make over 100 different cocktails and I've thrown over 50 cocktail parties. And I teach other busy professionals how to make cocktails at home. And in this video, I'm going to be answering that very important question. What type of shaker should you buy for your home bar? And really, there's two primary styles of shaker, and one of those styles of shaker has two subdivisions. So really, there's kind of like three types of shakers. And the first style of shaker is called a cobbler shaker. Now, a cobbler shaker contains a bigger tin, and then on top of that, it has a head, and the head has two components. One has actually a built-in strainer, and then the other type has a cap on top of it. So it's really like three different pieces. There's the tin, there's the head with the built-in strainer, and then there's the cap on top. So that's the cobbler shaker. And the second style of shaker is a Boston shaker like this. And the Boston shaker actually has two types. The type that I have is called a tin on tin because both the larger and the smaller one are tins. The other style of Boston shaker is a glass on tin because one of them is a tin like this one here, but then the other one is a pint glass. So those are the two types of Boston shaker. So of those three styles, which is the one that I think you guys should use? Well, it's the same one that I myself use, and that's going to be the tin on tin Boston shaker. Now, why is that superior to the other types? Well, there are a couple of reasons. One is that if you compare this one to the glass on tin Boston shaker, I think this one is far superior, not only for home bartending use, but also for professional bartending use, because tin, unlike glass, tin does not break when it falls over. So when you're shaking cocktails, you have a lot of hard ice in there. You don't want things cracking. And when you're on the bar, you're going to be around people that aren't fully sober because they've had a few drinks. You're going to be moving fast. You're going to be making a lot of drinks, all those kind of things. So you don't want anything to break when you do tip things over because, these shakers, they do take a beating when you host these kind of parties or you have a lot of people over. They'll often fall down onto the countertop. Sometimes they even fall down on the floor, and you don't really want things breaking. So that's why the tin on tin is definitely a far bigger improvement over the glass on tin. The one advantage the glass on tin does have is that you can actually see the ingredients in the glass before you go and shake it. So when you're making the cocktail, before you combine everything to shake it, you pour all the ingredients into the glass. And that's part of the whole visual dynamic, the whole show of being a home bartender or being a bartender in general, is that people can see the cocktail that you're making for them. So that's really the only advantage of the glass on tin. But I think the other benefits of using tin on tin, it doesn't break, it doesn't shatter, all those things. It's just more safe to use. I think those far outweigh the benefit of being able to see the ingredients in the cocktail when you pour them into the glass. So that's why I think the tin on tin is a far bigger improvement and a far better option than using the glass on tin version of the Boston shaker. Now, why is the Boston shaker a better option than using the cobbler shaker? Well, the main reason for that, you might think the cobbler shaker is better because it has a built-in strainer. So you're really kind of getting two tools in one. So you're getting a cocktail shaker and you're also getting a strainer, two tools in one. But the reason I don't like the cobbler shaker, and this is also a reason that a lot of other bartending YouTubers and home bartenders and professional bartenders and people that I've talked to, they all prefer the Boston shaker over the cobbler shaker. The main reason is that with the cobbler shaker, the third component, which is the cap, that tends to get stuck very often on top of the other two components. So that it becomes very difficult to open the shaker and then eventually to pour out your cocktail. And you don't really have those difficulties as much with the Boston shaker. Now, when you do shake it really well, you could end up getting things stuck like this, and it can be hard to budge. But there's a simple trick, and this is actually one of the most popular videos on my channel right now, so you can go ahead and watch that if you want more information about this. But a simple trick that you can do if your cocktail shaker does get stuck like this is that you find the point where the two shakers are closest together, and you face that towards me. And then you either go 90 degrees to the right if you're right-handed, or you go 90 degrees to the left if you're left-handed. And then you take your hand and you just push it across like this way. So you push it from, let's say this is a clock. The point that's closest to you is 6 o'clock. The point that's farthest away from you is 12 o'clock. So you either take your right hand and go from the 3 o'clock, push towards 9 o'clock, or you take your left hand and you push from the 9 o'clock to the 3 o'clock. That depends on which is your dominant hand. So for me, I'm right-handed, so I'm going to be taking my right hand, putting it at the 3 o'clock position, and then just pushing it over, and then it'll come undone. So really, the stuck cocktail shaker is a much bigger problem with the cobbler shaker than it is with the Boston shaker. And if you're worried about not having the second component of the strainer, you can always just go ahead and buy a Hawthorne strainer. This is a great tool to have just in general. And when you put it on top of your Boston shaker, then you can go ahead and strain your cocktail like that. So although you aren't getting two tools in one, you do have to buy two different things. I think the benefits of not having your shaker get stuck as easily as the Cobbler shaker does just far outweighs the benefits of having that extra added utility of having a strainer built in, because you can just go ahead and buy a strainer separately. So that's why not only do I myself use the Boston shaker, but most of the bartending YouTubers that I watch, and also when I go to nice cocktail bars and restaurants, the professional bartenders are also using Boston shakers. Everyone's using Boston shakers because I think they just are far superior to the Cobbler shakers. And as I've already mentioned earlier in this video, I think the tin-on-tin version is far superior to the glass-on-tin version. And this exact one that I use, the link is going to be in the description below, but this is the set of weighted cocktail shakers from Corico, which is a subdivision of Cocktail Kingdom. So it's a Corico weighted shakers from Cocktail Kingdom. That's going to be linked in the description below. I like a weighted shaker. That's another added benefit here to using this type of shaker. Because it's weighted, when you're pouring ingredients over, they won't tip over. And even though it's not glass and it won't break, having it things tip over, it's just going to lead to a huge mess behind the bar, and maybe you'll end up spilling some of your ingredients on the floor or something like that, which is just a huge problem if you're a home bartender. So that's why I really like this brand. And this really does last a long time as well. I bought my first set of Corico weighted cocktail shaker. I bought that first set in June 2020, and I had it for 2 years, and then I actually gave it away as a gift to one of my close friends, and he still has it to this day. So that's lasted 5+ years now. And then I bought this new set at that same time, June 2022. So it's lasted basically 3.5 years till now, December 2025 at the time of recording of this. So these really do last a long time. I would be safe to say that these are going to be lasting very long time. I would say on the order of decades, because that's just how durable this product is. And that's why I swear by this. So if you're interested in getting a cocktail shaker, you want to really get started on home bartending, maybe you haven't made your first cocktail yet, or maybe you just made your first cocktail using a mason jar or something like that to shake, this is a great investment. I would say go ahead and buy the cocktail shaker. And specifically the cocktail shaker that you should buy is a tin-on-tin Boston shaker. There are a lot of great brands out there, but the one that I've swear by and the one that I've used for over 5 years now is the one from Cocktail Kingdom, the Corico weighted cocktail shaker. Anyways, that's all I have for today's video. If you found the advice in this video helpful, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I really like to do 2 styles of videos on this channel. The first will be where I do tutorials showing you guys how to make specific cocktails. And the second style of video will be more like this video, where I do guides, I share tips and tricks, I share stories and things from my own home bartending journey that I hope will help you guys become better home bartenders. And I also like to answer questions and things that you guys have. Anyways, that's all I have for today's video. Thank you. Cheers.